Hi guys, this is Fancy Stitches and welcome to my channel. In today's tutorial, I'm going to take you guys on how to draft an A-line dress with side flare. So if you're interested in this video, make sure you watch this video to the end. Subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification bell to get notified each time I upload a new video. Also comment, like and share. So guys, let's get into it. So guys, I'll be making an A-line dress with side flare. So here I've already drawn my shoulder line. Then the next thing I will do here is to mark out my shoulder measurement of 15 inches. My shoulder measurement of 15 inches will be 7.5 inches. Then my shoulder depth is going to be 8 inches. So I will now use my mark. Then the next thing I will do here, sorry guys, the first thing I'm going to cut here is the back of the A-line dress. I'm cutting the back now, and because the back is not going to have a zipper, I will use it to cut out the front. So let me take my body measurement first. My body measurement, the bust is going to be 8.8 inches, which is here. Then what I did here, I came down by 2 inches from my armhole. I came down by 2 inches, which will serve as my chest line, and here will serve as my bust line. Let me rule it. Here will serve as my chest line, and here will serve as my bust line. That's the reason why I came down by 2 inches. So my bust measurement is going to be 8.8 inches. I marked 8.8 inches. Then from my shoulder to my waist, which is my half length, is 15 inches. My waist measurement is 29 inches divided by 4 is going to give me 7.2 inches. 7.2 inches. So from here I mark my 7.2 inches here. Then from my waist down to my hip is 9 inches. My hip measurement of 37 inches. This is how I divide my tape. My hip measurement of 37 inches divided by 2 is going to give me 18.5 inches, and 18.5 inches divided by 2 again will give me 9.2 inches. So I'll mark my 9.2 inches like this. Then the next thing here is that I will determine my length. My A-line length, because I'm using a pattern paper, I will be using the whole length of this pattern paper. Then while cutting on my material, I'm going to adjust. My gown measurement is going to be 37 inches, so I'll be adding the extra inches on my material. So but for now that I'm using this pattern paper, I'll be using the pattern paper length. I'll add about 2 inches allowance, which is here. Come over to my waist, add my 2 inches allowance. Down to my hip, 2 inches allowance. Okay, so this is my chest line, and this is my bust line, my waistline, and my hip line. Then here is my actual length measurement. So after taking my measurements, I'm going to connect these lines together. So this is my basic body measurement. The first thing I did was to draw my shoulder line measurement. Then after that, I take my armhole length, which is 8 inches, my shoulder measurement of 7.5 inches, and my armhole length of 8 inches. That forms my chest line. Then from my chest line, I came down by 2 inches. That is this line now is my bust line. Then here is my waistline and my hip line. Then I now took my body measurement of bust, my waist, added 2 inches allowance to each of them. So now the next thing that I will do here is marking my neckline. My neckline of 3.5 inches width here. Then length of 1 inch. My neckline of 1 inch. So I will use my So after that, my shoulder slope, I will be coming down by 1 inch. 1 inches, then connect it. Subtracting my shoulder slope, I'll be having 7 inches here. Then 7 inches divided by 2 will give me 3.5 inches, which is here. I mark it. Then go in by 1/2 inch. For my armhole curve, I will go in by 1/2 inch. Then use my curve ruler. This is it. Then my bust measurement is 38.8 inches. Then I will use the same bust measurement on my chest line, which is 8.8 inches here, adding the same 2 inches allowance again here. Then connect the line. Like this. I won't be needing that for my A-line gown. I won't be needing that for it. So after taking your measurement like this, the next thing is to cut it out. So guys, here is the 2 material that I'm going to use for this tutorial. This is my black lycra material, and this is my vintage print material. So now let me use this black. I'll be using this one for the back pattern, then this one for the front side flare. So the next thing I did was to fold my lacquer material into two like this, then place my pattern paper on top. Then I'm going to cut it out. Then this is my back pattern. After cutting out my back pattern on my fabric, the next step I'm going to take now is to measure out my front neckline, which is I'm going down by 3 inches. The next thing to do here is going to your armhole length, which is 7 inches, divided by 2, which is 3.5 inches. I'll mark my 3.5 inches here. Then coming at the midpoint, which is this line here, at the midpoint of my gown, my nipple to nipple measurement is 8 inches, divided by 2 is 4.5 inches. So I'll be marking 4.5 inches at my bust line, which is here. Then at the midpoint, I will go up by 3.5 inches. After marking my points, then I'll come over at the down part here and mark 6.5 inches here at the down part like this. So I'm going to connect the 4 lines together. This is what I will have. Then the next thing I'm going to do here is fold my pattern paper again and cut out my front neckline. After cutting it out, then I'll open up my pattern paper like this and cut out this line. I will use this one on my black material and this one on my lacquer print, using this pattern here to cut it out on my fabric. Before cutting, I used my pin to pin my pattern paper to my fabric. I've already pinned my pattern paper to my fabric to cut out the flare part on the A-line gown. Now to get the flare part, I went down by 12 inches from the down part of my pattern paper. I went down by 12 inches. Make a point. Then from the edge, which is this side, from this side, the edge of my pattern paper, I connected it to that point that I made from the midpoint of my pattern paper. I connected it to this edge. Then here I came over to this side, and from my bust point, my bust line, I made a curve line. Which is from here to here. Here to here is 8 inches. So I made a curve line to meet this point, this 8 inches that I marked here, from my bust point to my, then connect it down to my 12 inches point that I made at the lower part of my pattern paper. So the next thing that I'm going to do here is to cut it out so that I'll show you guys how it actually looks. So guys, I am done cutting the flay, which you can see, and I arranged it with the other body pattern so that you can see the outcome of it, and you can see. So I will take it to my machine now and stitch up this area from here. From this part, I'm going to stitch it up. I'm going to join them together. Then after that, I'm going to cut out my facing, the facing for this, because it's not going to have a zipper, rather it's going to have a button loop at the back. So let me take it to my machine now and join it together. Then I went ahead to cut out my sleeve. Look at it, my both sleeve. So let me now go ahead and join it to my A-line gown. Finally, we have come to the end of today's tutorial. So guys, make sure you subscribe to this channel, like, comment and share. Turn on your notification bell for more. Thank you.